Hello and welcome to Mr. Game Review Show. Don't forget to subscribe the channel, hit the like button and put a comment below the video. Thank you so much. Tom and Jerry and Mouse Attacks for the Game Boy Color is a charming platformer that captures the classic cat and mouse antics of the beloved cartoon duo. Developed by Warthog Games and released in 2000, the game places players in control of Jerry as he navigates through a series of levels to outwit Tom and overcome various obstacles. The game offers classic side-scrolling action where players guide Jerry through different environments filled with traps, enemies, and puzzles. The controls are simple and responsive, with Jerry able to run, jump, and use various items scattered throughout the levels to fend off Tom or interact with the environment. Each level presents new challenges, such as avoiding falling objects, battling smaller enemies like birds and insects, and solving light platforming puzzles. The gameplay isn't groundbreaking, but it stays true to the cartoon's spirit, providing fun scenarios reminiscent of Tom and Jerry's slapstick humor. For a Game Boy Color title, the visuals are quite colorful and detailed, bringing the animated world to life. The character sprites are well designed, with Jerry looking expressive and Tom appearing frequently as an antagonist. The environments are varied, ranging from kitchens to backyards, keeping the experience fresh. The music and sound effects are charming, featuring bouncy, upbeat tunes that suit the whimsical tone of the game, though they can get repetitive over extended play sessions. While the game is not particularly difficult, some sections can be tricky, especially when dealing with time-based traps or navigating through hazards. However, seasoned platformer players may find it a bit easy. The game isn't very long, and experienced players can finish it in a few hours. While the linear nature limits replayability, fans of the franchise will enjoy revisiting levels to perfect their runs or simply experience the Tom and Jerry charm once again. Overall, Tom and Jerry and Mouse Attacks is an enjoyable Game Boy Color platformer that captures the fun and whimsy of the cartoon series. While not particularly deep or challenging, it's a delightful experience for younger gamers or nostalgic fans of the iconic duo. The boss fights in Tom and Jerry and Mouse Attacks add a bit of variety to the platforming action, typically featuring Tom himself as the main antagonist in these encounters. Each boss fight involves Jerry facing off against Tom in different scenarios where Tom uses various methods to try and catch Jerry. The boss fights are designed to be straightforward and fairly easy, catering to a younger audience, but still provide some fun moments. Each boss encounter has a unique setup that keeps them from feeling too repetitive. Tom might be using different contraptions, such as throwing objects at Jerry, chasing him down, or setting up traps that players need to avoid. The level design for these fights usually changes slightly, creating a different approach or strategy for each encounter, though the core mechanics jumping, dodging, and occasionally using objects against Tom remain consistent. The difficulty of the boss fights is relatively low, with clear patterns that are easy to learn. Most involve dodging Tom's attacks while finding opportunities to either hit him with objects or avoid his advances long enough for the fight to end. There isn't a great deal of depth to these encounters, as the attack patterns are simple and the window for damage is forgiving. Players accustomed to more challenging platformers may find the boss battles somewhat underwhelming. Whether Tom and Jerry and Mouse Attacks is worth playing largely depends on your expectations and what you're looking for in a Game Boy Color game. If you're a fan of Tom and Jerry, the game does a good job of capturing the charm and humor of the classic cartoon. The slapstick antics and dynamic between Tom and Jerry are faithfully represented, making it a fun experience for those who grew up watching the show. For players who enjoy light-hearted, simple platformers, this game offers an accessible and enjoyable experience. The controls are straightforward, and the game doesn't demand too much from the player, making it a good choice for casual gaming or younger players. Tom and Jerry and Mouse Attacks is worth playing if you have a fondness for the classic cartoon or are seeking a nostalgic, light platformer on the Game Boy Color. It serves as a pleasant throwback to the simpler days of gaming, but it doesn't offer much in terms of depth or long-lasting appeal. For players who value challenging gameplay or content-rich experiences, there are better options out there. If you are a fan of the franchise or enjoy retro handheld games for their charm and simplicity, it's definitely worth a look. Otherwise, it may be better suited as a quick nostalgia trip rather than a must-play title.